Eileen, welcome to this Zoom call with me. And you're here to give us a feedback on Carl.J, Ashley, and the Right Coach. Welcome. What I want to know first is, when did you realize you wanted to write your book, your story?
Um, as I said, I've always been interested in writing. I do a bit of poetry and a bit of short stories and keep diaries and that sort of stuff. Yeah, during lockdown seemed a good opportunity to sit down because no other distractions, no going out, nobody coming in. So it was me, my pad, and my pen. So that was the opportunity to do it.
And was that an easy project, or was it something you were waiting to do all the time, or was it something that was just at that stage, it was like now or never?
Well, it was said to me a few times that I should do it. And I never thought that really that the story that I had to tell was that significant until I started to write it. And then I thought, yeah, there's a lot to this. So I'm going to carry on doing this. And yeah, I've loved it, really.
Brilliant. So you're there, you've got your pen, your piece of paper. Was there any factors that you had to overcome, and your experience with writing your own book, has that helped you from a personal perspective as well?
Yeah, the factors I would say that as a confidence thing, firstly, that you doubt your capability of, you don't think that you're intelligent enough, bright enough. You never think you're good enough to do these things until you start doing it. And really and truly, what comes out of your own brain surprises yourself. So
Yeah,
yeah, that certainly was a good experience for me.
very good. Um, have you seen much improvement in your actual writing skills and your confidence while working with Karl, like the before and after?
Yeah, because I think working with Karl has um, my idea of maybe describing something might not necessarily appeal to a reader, and that's where Karl come in, and he could actually change it around in a way that, while seeing the same thing, made it more readable.
Yeah, yeah. And I suppose the biggest question is, like, what was the most enjoyable part of working together?
For me personally, working with Karl, it was like having your wee backup service right there to hand, and he's easy to work with, easy to talk to, funny, very actually very maybe sympathetic to certain um, topics that I was actually writing about. He's amazingly easy to work with.
So he made you feel comfortable as well in,
Absolutely, yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
very good.
I didn't know Karl from Adam. I didn't. I don't know the person. And for me, it was thinking it was a new experience, this.
Yeah,
And yeah, I find him easy to work with now.
very good. And so you didn't know Karl previous to this. So where did you hear about the Right Coach?
What I know of Karl previously was I joined a life coaching group in the hopes of getting me through lockdown because, as I say, I live alone.
Yeah,
And this group, it went one to one in the beginning, and then it turned into a group experience. And Karl was one of the members of that group. And during the conversation, he spoke about his books and his writing. And my ears kind of pricked up, thinking, oh, right, I wouldn't mind talking to him about something. So we actually did get talking, and then he offered his services, and I was happy to accept.
very good. What were the main benefits from using the Right Coach and Karl?
Well, it's for me. I think the direction is getting the direction of the book and knowing actual position of certain chapters, what should come before what, and what sounds better. It's certainly was the direction because no doubt you can go off in a tandem by yourself, and it has to be interesting for the person that's reading it.
Yeah,
It might be your own story or whatever, and you know what you're talking about, but that doesn't mean the reader will understand what you're trying to express. So I found Karl very helpful on account of that.
very good. What surprised you most about the process of the experience and then writing your actual book, the whole, the, how can I word it? I suppose the working process.
I hadn't a clue about any of the working process when I started writing. I had a notion. I was just writing, and I didn't know what you done next or anything about editing or publishing or nothing like that. And Karl has all the knowledge in that department, so I was happy to follow his lead on that.
You're happy to follow his lead. Would you recommend him so? You sound like you would.
Absolutely, absolutely. He's a lovely guy and a friendly fella. Easy, as I said, easy to work with. And you have to have somebody that you can talk and have a sense of humor with, and and he is that person.
Yeah,
And he knows what he's doing.
that's good. Do you plan to do any more books? What's on the
Yeah, well, yeah, I can't have another one sitting at the top of my head too. Yeah, I do intend to, yes. I think I've got the bug now.
You've got the bug.
Yeah, I think I've got
Bug.
the bug.
I love it.
Yes, absolutely.
So has telling your story to Karl and actually getting it out of you onto a piece of paper and maybe expressing it to a wider audience, would that inspire you to encourage other people to do the same?
Absolutely. I find that telling my particular story has not just been good for me, it has been good for other members of my family because it's a personal story.
Yeah.
So it has affected my wider family in a way, even though they haven't got to read it all yet.
Okay.
So and naturally too, when you're expressing it to somebody, and they say back to you, oh my God, you start thinking to yourself, well, I didn't imagine that. That's not a figment of my imagination, or as a younger person thinking that was worse than what it was. It actually was bad.
Yeah.
And so yeah, getting somebody to confirm what you're actually trying to express.
Yeah.
It's and it's getting a mature slant on it.
Okay. Yeah. As in your own mature slant.
Yeah.
So you're looking back at the childhood experiences, looking from an adult's eyes.
Yeah.
Did you find that, we'll say, healing in any way? You said it was cathartic.
Yes, I have found it healing. Found that the parts that needed to be let go of are gone, and that's good.
Yeah, good.
Lay some ghosts to rest.
Put the ghost to rest, is that what you said?
Put the ghosts to rest, yeah.
I love it. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I would hope that by future experiences in writing, that Karl will be somewhere in the background. I would have no bother asking for his help or his advice. I think he has the knowledge and he has the skills. He's an intelligent guy. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I find for a first-time writer for me, I had not a clue what this was about. I was writing, but it wasn't really going anywhere at that stage. And talking to Karl has given me the direction that I needed to go in.
And if you didn't have that chance to connect with Karl, and do you think you would be where you are right now with your book?
No, I don't, because there's deadlines. With Karl, there was deadlines we met, and we were having our meetings regularly, and you were doing that amount. It's almost like you were progressing so that you were, up to scratch and up to speed with stuff. I think that you possibly would put it on the long finger and think, oh, I'll do that now. I must sit down someday and do that. And instead of being a bit more structured about it, which it has turned out to be, like for me, that there is more structure to what I'm doing because of Karl.
Fantastic. I'm going to leave it at that. And I want to say thank you. And I really look forward to getting your book in my hands and actually reading it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks to Karl.
Well, we'll pass that on to him, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.